Facebook Live, we have arrived. One more time, y'all. Let's get it in.
Conference muted. Conference recording started.
I want to thank everybody for chiming in. This is Watchman Derrick Yisrael, also known as Pastor Derrick, on the early What I See the Scripture Study and Prayer Line on this 15th day in May 2023. Mother Katie, Twice Bird, Barbara, Joseph in the building, holding it down. My mom, Al Mal in the building, Fee, Big Kev in here. As we slowly chiming in, thank the Most High for each and every one of you. Excited about being amongst you on this morning. Patana, good to see you in here. May the Most High continue to bless all the mothers. If it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here. The Most High chose y'all as the vessels to bring us on in. And you're priceless to us for that. You already know the Most High love y'all. But I thank the Most High for each and every one of you. Leslie Sutton, always a pleasure to see you. We got Beverly in here as well. Good to see you, Tia, all the beautiful mothers. We're going to take a back seat to y'all just to say we love y'all and appreciate y'all. About our Father's business, Taylor, good to see you in here. Bless you. Bless you, mother. She's a mother too. Genesis 15 and 12, y'all. Let's get it in. Genesis 15 and 12. Cole Robinson in the house. Surrounded in beautiful mothers. That's what's up. We finna see if the spirit of Yah can quench that stomach growl twice. We're trying to get it in. Then. Genesis 15:12, right? Look what it say. As the sun was setting, Abraham fell into a deep sleep, and a dreadful darkness came over him. Then Yahuwah said to him, know for certainty that for 400 years your descendants will be strangers in a country not their own, and that they will be enslaved and mistreated there. But I will punish the nation they serve as slaves, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. Are y'all with me? There's a few things going to happen. His children going to end up, without question, for certainty. Rhonda Ponder, good to see you in here. They're going to be enslaved in a land that they don't even know, they don't know familiarity with that land. Frank Wilson, Don Deems, good to see y'all in here. Rhonda Ponder. They're gonna be enslaved for 400 years, enslaved and mistreated for 400 years. But then the Most High is gonna punish. Bree, what you see? Good to see you in here. Then the Most High gonna punish. Gonna punish the land, and then they're gonna leave. They're gonna leave with great substance. I remember when I used to read the Bible, right? And I used to listen to how Paul used to talk about his people. And I would say, wow. I would stop reading. Trenda, good to see you in here. I would stop reading, Trenda, when I used to hear Paul, reading and saying how much he loved his people and how he wouldn't mind being a castaway for them and all that. And I would just stop and say, but what about us? I feel the same way about my people. I used to say that. Gonna find out me and Shaul, Paul, we was talking about the same folks. Who are they a part of 5? Or is it 6? Somebody look for me. Look for me, Taylor. I think it's 6. I could be wrong. Now I want to know. The anticipation is whooping me. Who are they part of? What part we on, y'all? I gotta know. Somebody gonna tell me. But I remember, I used to look at that and be like, we on part 6. Thank you, Taylor. I used to look at that and be like, what about us? When we look, we covered a little terrain, but it's so much on my mind, going through my mind right now. Let me think. Um, let's mess with Exodus right quick, y'all. Exodus 3. Exodus 3 and 1. But I used to really trip off that, right? I'm gonna do a little climate with y'all. If y'all lead, he kind of, I feel like he leading me that way. So I'm gonna do a climate with y'all. Let's do a climate check. But let's look at this. Exodus 3 and 1. Look what it say. Now Moshe was tending to the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of Yah. There the angel of Yahuwah appeared to him in the flame of fire from the midst of the bush. Moshe saw that the bush was on fire. It did not burn up. So Moshe thought, I will go over and see the strange sight why the bush does not burn up. And when Yahuwah saw that he had gone over to look, Yah called to him from within the bush, Moshe, Moshe. Moshe said, here I am. Do not come any closer, Yah said. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am Yahuwah of your father, or to be honest, more like I am the Elohim of your father, the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac, and the Elohim of Jacob, or Yaakov, however you want to say it. At this, Moshe hid his face because he was afraid to look at Yah. Then Yah said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I've heard them crying out because of their slave drivers and am concerned about their suffering. So I'm come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them out of the land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. I'm going to stop right there. JB, good to see you in here. I want to show y'all that. Now what I want to do is I want to take y'all to Psalms 106. Psalms 106. Let's go to Psalms 106 right quick. Psalms 106, and I want to start at the 40th verse. Look what this say. Therefore, Yahuwah was angry with his people and abhorred his inheritance. He gave them into the hand of the nations, and their foes ruled over them. Their enemies oppressed them and subjected them to their power. Many times he delivered them, but they were bent on rebellion, and they washed away in their sin. Yet he took note of their distress when he heard them cry. When did he hear their distress, y'all? When he heard them cry. Ramon Price, good to see you in here. We're in Psalms 106 right now. Say the 40th verse. When he heard them cry. Okay, let's back up. When the Most High was introducing himself to the children of Israel, the Hebrews, they didn't know him. They didn't know him like that. He knew their daddy, Abraham. Ramon Price, good to see you in here. He knew Abraham. And he entered into a covenant agreement with Abraham. Are y'all with me? He entered into a covenant agreement with Abraham because of Abraham's faith. Are y'all with me? Now, to look at this thing, I don't want to go too far into this, but the reason that he entered into a covenant agreement with Abraham was because of his faith. And the type of relationship he entered into, with Abraham was he was going to borrow his flesh. The ultimate goal was for the Mashiach, the Messiah, to be born. Another goal was the nation of whom the Messiah will be born will represent him in earth. He entered into a covenant agreement with him concerning a nation of people that we know now would drop the ball. He knew it too, but all he wanted was one out of the batch. But because of his relationship with Abraham, he was willing to go rescue these people. They didn't know him like that. So what we just read in Exodus, in the 3rd chapter, there's a people that belong to him that didn't even know him like that. And the land they were in, Egypt, was mistreating them, started dogging them out, started mistreating them and enslaving them, which caused them to cry out. That's what happened. Now, because we're starting to learn slowly but surely that there was 400 years involved in that captivity, but it wasn't, it was 430 years involved in that captivity, but it wasn't 400 years of them being in a strange land, because that wasn't a strange land. Egypt wasn't a strange land to the Hebrews. How could they be? They was raised there. Egypt wasn't a strange land to them. They were mistreated there, but it wasn't a strange land to them. Jazzy and Josie, good to see you in here. Big bro, we up in here now. Psalms 106, starting at the 40th verse. They were in Egypt, but it wasn't a strange land to them. And boy, were they mistreated. But we dealing with 430 years. 215 years of it was giving Abraham a time to have Isaac, and then for Isaac to have Jacob. Yaakov and Jacob to have 12 sons. And then they get old enough for them to turn on their brother Joseph and sell him into slavery in Egypt. That's the 215 years. Yeah. Out of 430, 215 years wasn't in slavery and torment. It was in preparation for Joseph to go into Egypt. Then to later on sin for his father's house, for them to move into Egypt, into Goshen. That was towards the last 215 years. And they was living it up because he was second in command when he sent for them and brought them in. So that don't match the dream, y'all. That's all I'm telling you. That don't match the 400 dreams. The 400 years of being enslaved and mistreated in a land that's not their own. Because if you remember, the Most High gave everything that Abraham walked on. He said, "I'm giving it to your children as inheritance." I'm just telling you. Denise Wilkins, good to see you in here. Now to push forward, what caused the Most High, listen, what caused the Most High to move towards them, to deliver them, was their cry. Did y'all catch that? What we just read in Exodus, shall I read it again? I'll read it again. Exodus 3. I'm just going to go straight to 7 this time. 3 and 7. Look what it says. He's talking to Moshe at the burning bush. And Yahuwah said, "I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Israel." He's seen it. He's watching. "I've seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I indeed have seen the misery of my people in Egypt," right? "I have heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering." He was watching, and he heard them cry. He heard the cry. See, it's the response to the suffering that's important. Are y'all with me? He watched them being mistreated. Brandon Clay, good to see you in here. Who are they? Part 6. Logan, you know what it is. We're in Exodus 3 and 7 right now. But he saw them being mistreated. Hey, let me tell you something. You see the damsel and you want to help her. Oh, he dogging her out, doing her bad. You went and got involved. You turned around to grab him. She jumped on your back and grabbed you, and both of them whoop you. Listen to me. He saw the mistreatment, right? But what really did it was they cried out. It's your response to the suffering. I'm trying to tell you something. It's your response to the suffering. Their response to the suffering caused them to cry out. Something about that cold flesh, boy. You know how, hey, when you deal with people in rehab, right? Hey, they you know, you talk to the counselor. Oh, my brother on drugs. You know, I want to bring him in. You know, and they be like, okay, where he at? You be like, he right here. Let me talk to him. I already talked to him. He ready to come on it. Let me talk to him. They get on the phone with the drug counselor thing. They go back and forth. And then all of a sudden your brother hand you back the phone. You say, hello, I'm finna bring him in. He said, nah, he ain't ready. We ain't got no time to waste. He ain't ready. He ain't finished getting high. He ain't finished drinking. He ain't ready. He ain't ready. I told you, you done ran up on that sister. Hey, brother, what you doing to her? Get up off of her, man. You pull him off of her. What you doing? You turn around, brother, you ain't gonna be putting your hands on her. All of a sudden, she stab you in the back. Boom, and then he fire on you. Bang, and drop you. I'm trying to tell you something. So when you look at the 7th verse, listen to me. I'm trying to teach you something. And Yahuwah said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people. He saw it in Egypt. And I heard them crying out because of the slave driver. They dogging them out, right? And I am concerned about the suffering. He been concerned. And then I want you to play back close attention to. I've heard them crying out because of the slave driver. I've heard them crying out. I'm trying to tell you something. I'm gonna read it again. 7th verse. Yahuwah said, I indeed seen the mystery of my people in Egypt, right? Their response, though, is I heard them crying out because of they're crying out because our flesh is wicked. The house slaves, right? The house jokers, right, had a different vantage, had a different opinion of slavery than the cats in the field. Y'all seen Django, didn't you? Didn't you? Oh, I'm trying to tell you something. Listen. It's when they cried out. When you cry out and you tired, now, this is a climate check, because I'm really trying to tell you something for real. This is our blueprint. Real talk. This is not the 400 years. This is 430 years, of which 215 years, it ain't even started yet. And then once they ended up in Egypt, from Canaan into Egypt, then he had to go from the prison to the palace. From the pit to the prison to the palace. Are y'all with me? When he got to the palace, that's when he sent for his kinfolk. And they ended up in Goshen, balling out of control. Wasn't no suffering with that. They was balling out of control. I'm trying to continuously tell you, to get that out of you, that the Egyptian captivity solved the 400 years. It was 430 years. But over half of the 430, they wasn't suffering like that. It was towards the end of the last 215 years. They didn't even set foot in there until 215 years. That does not solve the nightmare that Abraham had when his children will be mistreated for 400 years. That don't satisfy that. Once you get that, then you can learn better, because the Bible is full of shadows and types. And this is our schoolmaster. Torah is our schoolmaster, so we can learn. If you want to know the real 400 years, we messing with it. If you want to know the real 400 years, because it's going to be exactly 400 years in a land who's not your own, whose language ain't yours, whose name you carrying ain't yours. The land ain't yours, the language ain't yours. Are y'all with me? The name ain't yours, the language ain't yours. The land ain't yours, the language ain't yours. Your name ain't nothing yours. And you'll get dogged out and enslaved for 400 years. I'm just trying to tell you. So then when you start learning how to use the Bible, you'll find out that was a shadow and a type. And then you'll learn in this shadow and type that the crying out was key. That's why I was giving you scenarios, y'all. You know why I was giving you scenarios, didn't you? I was giving you scenarios because you look at Lot and his wife. His wife wasn't ready to go. In that wicked city. Most I came down to rescue Lot out of the city. He said, don't look back. As the wife looked back and was turned to a pillar of salt. She wasn't ready to leave. You got jokers ain't ready to leave. But what causes the Most High to turn back to his children is crying out. Now, the master of the timeline is the Most High. I ain't gonna lie to you. He said, you're gonna get 400 in. For sure. He said, for a certainty. Didn't we read it? Genesis 15 and 12 through 16. Didn't you read it? Tristan Johnson, good to see you in here. Boca Told. Didn't you read it? He said, for certainty, you gon' serve 400. Right after the 400, he said, I'm going to judge the nation that enslaves you. Now, the whole world is out of pocket, but there's a particular nation. There's a particular nation that kicked it off that we was shipped to. Yeah. I'm finna get them. Just like people got thrown off because since 70 AD, the Hebrews been on the run and being dogged out. Portuguese, they travel. They start traveling through Africa on the run, right? And they went into so many different exiles while they was on the run, which supersedes 400 years. But that does not equate to being shipped from lands that they're familiar with to a land that they wasn't familiar with, to the other end of the world. That was the punishment. Into an Egypt. That's the 400 years. Prior to the 400 years, they was getting dogged out. People get thrown off by stuff like that. I understand why they would. Don't get it twisted, because I was thrown off too. But you got to keep studying, stay in Yah's face, and he'll keep revealing it. Are y'all with me? So the 400 years, literally, the clock ticks when you get shipped. According to Deuteronomy 28 and 68, you got to get shipped beyond Babylon, according to Acts 7 and 43. You got to get shipped beyond. And what caused the Most High to say, I'm finna ship you now? You bought your ticket. I'm finna ship you now. He threatened them in Deuteronomy, but he bought them their ticket when they was in the wilderness and Moshe was up in the mountain getting some more word from the Most High, and they melt down their jewelry and start serving Molech, another deity, and Riphan. They were serving two deities, and they made Aaron melt down their jewelry and made this calf, and they was worshiping it. And he said, okay, now you bought your ticket. It ain't the love boat. You bought your ticket. I'm finna ship you beyond Babylon. Acts 7 and 43. Beyond that, that's way further. And we did the study beyond Babylon. We thought the slave trade was the Atlantic Ocean. And then we looked at the maps, didn't we? Did y'all Google look at the map? And then you found out that the map really was the Ethiopic Ocean. They changed the name to Atlantic Ocean to fool the ignorant, to be deceptive like they are. Woods, good to see you in here. Going back to the point, when Exodus, right, 3, how much time I got, y'all? When Exodus 3, right, 3 in 7, and we're trying to get the key. What got to happen, right? And Yah said, I have indeed seen the misery. He's seen the misery of my people in Egypt. He's seen it. He been watching. He see everything. He said high and look low. He saw it all the whole time. He seen what we was going through in the 400 too. Back to this. He seen it. He seen what they was going through. And I've heard them crying out. Now that's the key. Can't help nobody until they cry out. They'll turn on you. Put them up, give them some money. Got them all cleaned up. They jumped right back in the mud. He said, these people are hard-headed, because that wasn't the first captivity either. He said, they're so hard-headed. I got to get them the doozy. I got to give them the beat down of all beat downs. I'm going to get them a complete smashing. Yeah, that's what he did too. But what we didn't know, ding, 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 when the 400 hit. Because remember, he said, when they hit the 400, he said, I'm judging the nation that did that to them too. Alina Franklin, good to see you in here. We in Exodus 3 and 7 right now. He said, but when the bell go off, we didn't even know the bell went off. We did know that as soon as the bell went off, we was locked up in our houses, though. He locked the whole world down. Didn't he do it? He locked the entire world down. Couldn't nobody go outside. Everything freeze. Whoa, that ain't never happened on planet Earth. What kind of power can shut the whole world down? We sure love to give the devil and his children a bunch of credit, don't we? They ain't that powerful. Them and their AI, artificial intelligence. I don't think that intelligence is too artificial, though. That joker kind of smart. He kind of like a smart devil or something. Something different about that, but we'll deal with that another time. Is that all right? But we give him too much credit. Y'all said if I shut up heaven, that there be no rain. If I send the locusts divide the land, if I send pestilence among my people. Give credit what credit is due. Shut this whole joker down. Right after 400. We came here, in 1619? It was announced by Trump that the African American been in the Americas for 400 years in 2019. And there's a disease, this name, COVID-19. What was it 19 for? 2019? And then the whole world got shut down. What a coinky-dink. What a coinky-dink. Is that a coincidence? Come on, y'all ain't gonna get a credit to no coincidence, is you? So if you use this as a blueprint, listen to me. What made the Most High, listen to me, what made the Most High set them free? Because he was watching what was happening to them. They were born in sin and shaped in iniquity just like everybody else. What made the Most High say, I'm concerned, I'm finna come down? Because they was crying out. You got to get uncomfortable here, y'all. How many y'all uncomfortable? You got to get uncomfortable. Now, don't give me that house stuff. Because the field jokers is ready to go. They been ready to go. They got their coat. They so ready to go. You know, another shadow and type in when we supposed to eat the meal, the Passover. They call it the Passover. It's the Passover. Y'all know what it is. When you're eating bitter herbs, you got your clothes on, your belt on, your shoes on because you're ready to go. Them folks that's in the field. Eat in haste. He said, hurry up, eat, because we going place. They dressed and ready to go. You got Joe. I ain't putting my clothes on. They good to me here. Them jokers. Oh, you got some of them jokers? They didn't switch from the Passover to Easter. Them jokers. They had enough nerve in Acts. What is that? I don't remember. What is it? Acts 7 and something? Somebody find Easter in the King James Version because they switched the word Easter for Passover. I'll teach that another time. But how dare you switch out rabbits and Easter bunnies for the Passover? I will give you this one nugget before I go back. When they blotting you out, do you know if the underlying meaning for Passover, right, stays the same? Then Christianity is teaching you that some Negroes, I won't even call them Negroes, even though they were. I'm going to say that a group of people was in Egypt in captivity, and this is a memorial that the Most High delivered them out of bondage. So if you keep it Passover, you're teaching your children that there is an exodus. If you know the real underline of the Bible, and that wasn't the actual real exodus, it was a shadow and a type of a true exodus, then people would be being saved looking for the exodus and the deliverance of Yah's chosen people. But when you hijack the religion and switch the Passover to Easter, you got some jokers that got their Easter suits on and stuff. They ain't ready to go nowhere but Easter egg hunting. Any jokers out there like that? You live in the house. You got some folks that's keeping the feast because they got their shoes on and their belt on and they ready to get the heck up out of here. Can I preach this morning? Back to 7. Listen what it say. And Yahuwah said, I have indeed seen the misery of my people. He watched it. Wasn't cool here for some people. Wasn't no dream. It was a nightmare. Yeah. Everything smiling ain't happy. Listen. I have indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. Listen to it. And I've heard them cry. That's the key. Stay out of it if she ain't crying. If she, help me. You get involved if you want to. You're going to pay. Look, I told you, don't try to put him in their program. They ain't letting him in there. They're not letting her in there until she tired. The key was to cry. Okay. See, I get happy and get to teaching because I want to keep teaching, y'all. But I want to be having a certain amount of time. Back to Psalms 106. I got to go. Listen to this then. Psalms 106, 40. Look what it says. Therefore, Yahuwah was angry with his people. Look what he did. Look. Now this is, we just left the shadow and type to kind of like what we're going through now. Listen. Same thing, baby. Don't get it twisted. I want you to see something. Psalms 106, 40. Therefore, Yahuwah was angry with his people and abhorred his inheritance. That's his inheritance. That's us, y'all. He gave them into the hand of the nations. And their foes ruled over them. And their enemies oppressed them and subjected them to their power. Many times he delivered them, but they were bent on rebelling and they was wasted away in their sins. Yet he took note of their distress. Yet he took note of what? Their distress. Yet he took note, hard-headed people. Yet he took note of what? Their distress. And when he heard their cry. Can I keep reading? For their sake he remembered his covenant. And out of his great love he relented. He caused all who held him captive to show them mercy. Save us, Yahuwah, and gather us from the nations, that we may give thanks to your holy name and magnify you in praise. Talk back to me. Praise be to Yahuwah, the Elohim of Yisrael, from everlasting to everlasting. And let all the people say, Amen. Is y'all with me today? He just dropped me by to explain something to y'all, though. Obviously. I didn't know the lesson was going to go like this. Isn't that something? Obviously, it's in your attitude. It's in your attitude. 100%. You too comfortable. We got to, like, I'm not a tough rascal, Get to rest around. You catch me in a hole, especially in jiu-jitsu, they'll break something on you. You get caught in the hole. You when I was coming up, you say uncle. Now you got to tap out. You got to tap out. Tap. Oh, that's snap it. Yeah, tap. Oh, you're going to sleep. You're going to get in sleep. You're getting sleep pressure to the head. Or the lack thereof. However you want to do, they push it or they pull it, cut it off. You got to tap. Listen, it's time to tap. Real talk. It's time to tap. To be honest with you, I be looking at, okay, the 400 years, okay. When he said, let my people go, they served her 400 years, right? When Moshe said, let my people go, listen to me. This is how I think he'd be talking with Yah. He said, let my people go. He said, let my people go. The Most High said, let my people go. They served the 400. I compare then and now. The schoolmaster versus what we're going through right now. We done served the 400. The voice of Moshe is saying, let my people go. The Most High is saying, let my people go. Listen to me. How much more suffering after that? That's what I'm thinking. I know that they got some dastardly plans, but they also are saying reparations right now. Because remember, he said after the 400, he going to judge the nation that enslaved them, and then they're going to come out with great substance. So I'm trying to time that because I don't want no more problems. Now, as for me and my house, we're going to serve Yahuwah. To each his own. Somebody might still, still want to get rubbed down, want to get oiled up, still want to, you know what I mean? Still want to do stuff that the Most High don't approve of. Still trying to feel it. Still trying to win here, right? I'm not that. I'm in the field. I'm Passover, dude. I got all my clothes on the real feast that we should have been serving instead of Easter. I'm ready to get the heck up out of here. I'm Passover. Yeah, death ain't Passover me. I'm ready to go. Got all my clothes on, bitter earth. I'm eating the word. I'm eating this bitter. My flesh still want to go a buck. I still like to cuss. Orgies don't sound that bad to me. Getting high and drunk. I don't care what you say. You ain't play the game. Don't sit up there try to look holy now. Seeing it can be fun. Period. But I'm sitting up here eating bitter herbs, mortifying the deeds of the flesh, keeping myself in check. No reckless eyeballing, staying focused, looking on Yahushua, who's the author and finisher of my faith. I'm on that hype. Whoever still, I ain't on that. I'm trying to get the heck up out of here. Come on now. And if it's predicated on the cry, he might have to let some stuff get a little uncomfortable. Things might jump uncomfortable, real uncomfortable. Because all he want to do is hear from his children. He want to hear a cry out. He's ready for a cry out, y'all. You know what I mean? Prayerfully, you the type that we've been through enough. We done seen enough, and I'm about ready to go. I'm cool. I'll be right over here waiting on y'all. Looking towards the hills from whence cometh my help. My help comes from. I don't want no smoke. I had enough. How many of y'all had enough smoke? How many of y'all ready to surrender, walk away from sin, turn towards Yah on some come get me right now? How many of y'all? I ain't saying stop winning. I'm not saying that. I don't even want to insinuate that. If you get in the win, you got a bag, you got something Most High wants you to have, get what he got for you. Make sure it's something he wants you to have, though. But get what he got for you. I'm not saying that. I'm saying tap out the sin. Quit it. Cut it out. And if it don't look like Yah and it's not about Yah, you don't want it. I'm trying to tell you something. Are y'all with me? I'm not saying stop selling sandwiches and they selling well. Sell all the sandwiches you get your hands on. Please sell the sandwiches. I'm saying live right while you're selling them. Listen, don't sell out. Don't sell out to sell a sandwich. Come on, let's get out of here, y'all. What is he waiting for? What is he waiting for? To cry out. That's what he sent me to tell you. Cry out. Feel it in your bone. Be ready when you cry. I'm done. Uncle. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, I tap, tap, tap. That hurt. I'm done. How many of y'all ready to tap out? Is there anyone out there that has not completely tapped out to Yah? I want to pray with you. Put a 1 in here. If you haven't completely surrendered to that, cry out. He going to come get you. He going to come get us. He got a covenant agreement that he going to keep. I'll deal with the replacement theology later, y'all. Maybe tonight. Maybe I'll deal with the like we replaced. People think that the church replaced his children. You've been bamboozled. That's a lie. Even the term church was slick. That's slick. It's the assembly, his children. And foreigners always could be, the stranger always could be grafted in. They being grafted in. They start getting grafted in heavily because we was tripping. But now he said, and in Romans 11, he said, I'm grafting you back in your own breast. I'll deal with that tonight, y'all permit. But listen, how many of y'all want to tap? I see the 1 in here, Brandon. I'm going to pray with you. Anyone else? Put a 1 in here. Put a 1 in here. Put a 1 in here. If y'all want to pray, just because you love him, just because you with him, 5 on it. We skipping 4 today. Put 5 on it. I see the 1 in here. You're already with him, but he caught you in the move. He caught you. Put 5 on it. That's 5. Tap, 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 tap. Put 5 on it. Put 5 on it. I see the 1 in here, read. I see the 1. I see the 5. Big prayer jumping off right now. Complete surrender 1. I got caught. The word caught me. Tap, 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 put 5 on it. Tap, 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 put 5 on it. Tap, 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 let's pray. Spirit of the living Elohim, we love you and thank you for this opportunity coming for you. Hummus, we know how. We're in your presence because we love you. We tap in. We know what it is. We need to cry out. Deliver us from this wicked place, from this wicked people, from these people that don't care nothing about the young or the old, don't care nothing about us. In fact, they do care about us. They want to see us destroyed. Help us, deliver us. We turn to you. We're calling on your name. We heard your fame through scripture. Your fame went abroad throughout the world. Now we're turning back to you. We apologize for the sins of our forefathers. We apologize for our own sins. Deliver us now. Rescue us. Give us your Ruach HaKodesh, the power of your spirit right now, and deliver us. Deliver us. We surrender. We surrender. We surrender all. We quit. We don't want religion. We want true relationship. We want you. Give us what you gave us, that old time, that covenant agreement we made with you on Mount Sinai. But now this time, give it to us according to Jeremiah 31 through 34. Write it on the tables of our hearts, even right now. And we'll be careful to give you the praise, honor, not only now, but forever. In the matchless name of Yahushua, we humbly pray. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And amen. That was the lesson for the day. I pray we all continue to obey everything the Most High say. Okay? Okay. That was it. Hallelujah. Who are they? Part 6. That was it. Y'all permit we'll be back on tonight at 7. Y'all want to talk about it, 302-202-1102, extension 815-648. Keep that number because it's prayer at noon. Thank everybody. Push the share button, sharing your platforms with the truth of the word. Thank everybody that tag you, telling people come on in. Q, what it do? Q, what it do? Good to see you. Good to see you in here, man. Jay King. Oh, bless you, man. Good to see you in here as well, sir. Always a pleasure. I was looking at you this morning. I went on there and seen you as well. Bless you, man. You get a chance to run this lesson back. It kind of is interesting. I think you might enjoy yourself. Love, but thank everybody again for sharing, for the tag. You telling people to come in, and thank everybody that supports this ministry. I support ministry that support me. Feel me? That's the motto. I throttle. All right. Bless you, Jay. I'll probably give you a call just to check in with you. Yeah, if you get a chance, check it out. Appreciate you. Love all y'all. Love all. You know what? Before I go, Jay King, you need to know twice. And twice, you need to know Jay King. I don't know if you do, but that's the man. And he got some real big stuff going. Just people knowing people. It'd be good if y'all knew each other. I'm just telling you. Y'all looking at what each other do. Because y'all doing some real incredible big things right now. Incredible. All right. That's it. Love y'all. 302-202-1102, extension 815-648. Y'all want to talk about it? 302-202-1102, extension 815-648. Love y'all. Y'all can pray for me as I pray for you. Be Baruch, Baruch Shalom. I'm gone.